Welcome back to Instables, everyone. So I'm going to go with you guys in the S&P 500 again. This is the SPY again. We did go over yesterday that we have an inverted pennant here, and our question is, are we going to break to the upside? Are we going to break to the downside? We have multiple earnings coming out this week that will predicate exactly which momentum we do have this week. I'm going to go over exactly what we're looking for here. Now, before I jump into this, all I ask in return is you smash that like button, and if you do not want to miss any of our market updates or our potential breakouts that we mentioned throughout the week, hit subscribe. And if you guys are day traders or you guys are looking for intraday perspective breakouts all throughout the week, go to instables.com in the description below, and only for $15 a month, you guys will never miss a breakout alert today again. So let's jump into this one. So jumping into the daily chart with you guys here on the SPY, as you guys can see, again, we do have our inverted pennant that is playing out here. Our question is the play better to play to the upside or the downside here? In my opinion, there is more room to run to the downside if we do continue on lower, and most inverted pennants do continue on to the downside. But however, playing to the upside, as you guys can see, we have a very strong resistance here at 412. So in my opinion, we have a lot less room to run to the upside than to the downside. And so, in my opinion, I think playing to the downside would be the better play here. But of course, looking for that confirmation breaking below this pennant is exactly what we'll be looking for. And looking at our overall strength here on our MACD, again, this is our buy pressure. Again, we do have an increase in buy pressure that we got on Friday. Our question is, are we going to continue on with that buy pressure to the upside? As we do have our email line that is now pointing up after pointing down, showing us that possibility on crossing lower. However, we did get that spike on Friday. So our question will be, will we continue on with that buy pressure to the upside and continue on with our email line continuing on higher here to get above the median of our MACD here to get that strength to the upside? And as far as our relative strength, again, we did get that rejection on lower lows here, as we did look for that possible lower low here to continue on lower and give us that possibility of jumping into oversold territory. However, we did get that bounce, and now our question will be, will we continue on above the highs that we had recently to continue on into higher highs? And will we break above the previous relative strength that we had, above that strength that we had when we did break above the median of our RSI here? So we'll be looking for that continuation on higher or that continuation on lower. In my opinion, we would continue on higher here if we did break over 412 with that strength. In my opinion, that 412 level is a very strong level that we could get rejected at. And again, look for that possibility on that inverted head and shoulder if we do get that rejection. And again, in our shoulder, our head, and then our shoulder would be that continuation higher. So again, in my opinion, we have more room to the downside than to the upside, as again, we do have our lows here. Again, this is our pre-pandemic levels here at 340. If we do continue on lower, we have more room to run to the downside. So in my opinion, with this inverted pennant that typically does play to the downside, I definitely would be looking for that continuation on lower. However, if we do continue on higher, I would just be looking for that break over 412 as far as strength to the upside to make sure we do not get that rejection on a possible inverted head and shoulder or a possible continuation on lower. And to recap on our Bollinger Bands, as you guys can see, again, we do have the upper end of our deviation that is pointing to the side. We did mention that it is a sign of consolidation. So we did get a bounce here. And our question will be, again, if we do get that inverted pennant playing to the downside. But if we are going to be looking for that strength, we will be watching our Bollinger Bands to see if we can break the body of our candle into the upper end of our deviation or the lower end of our deviation for that continuation on lower. Again, breaking into our deviations shows us those continuations on lower. As you guys can see, we broke into our deviation, continued on lower, and then we broke into our deviation previously here, continued on lower on this rally to the downside. So very much looking to see which way we do squeeze, as we are not decompressing to the upside or the downside at this point. Currently just consolidating at this point, looking for that move to the upside or the downside from here. Now, there is a lot of bank earnings that will predicate exactly where the market does move. So watching these bank earnings will be very key. And in my opinion, a large opportunity. Again, if we see a few bank earnings go to the downside, then you can look for other bank earnings that are going to continue to the downside. So again, just looking for those plays that we could play throughout the week. And again, if you guys are looking for volatile major breakouts that we mentioned throughout the day in the Instables room, go to instables.com in the description below, and you will never miss a breakout alert today again. And again, all of you Instables that come over every single day and support the channel, again, just staying focused on our intraday plays. We will continue to go at it. Stay patient. Take what the market gives us. Again, if we do see momentum to the upside, then we got to play patient, playing into plays that react with the market versus against it. And if we do continue on lower, just playing plays that react against the market versus with the market. So just making sure we are watching our levels, watching our volume, and watching exactly how the market's going to move next is exactly what we'll continue to do. And again, if you guys do like this video, it does help the channel grow, and I do appreciate it very much. And again, God bless you all, and I'll see you guys in pre-market.